Hey guys, it's Makena, and in today's video we're going to learn about detaching from the outcome and just learning to expect good things and trust the unknown. So here we go. Okay, so first thing first, to be able to detach from the unknown, you need to learn to stop being so obsessive and always trying to control everything. Because when you try to control everything, you're not letting the universe space to do its magic, space to breathe. Because that used to be my biggest issue. I used to try to control and obsess over everything and trying to figure out how would something happen, and that is enough to drive you crazy. That is enough for people who try to manifest to literally go in a bad mental space because they just cannot let go, and they keep obsessing and obsessing over how something is going to happen. Either it was for me, either you go from believing to not believing to believing to imagining the worst case scenario and not believing how it could happen and not trusting the how and the when, to then believing over and over and over again, going from one place to another all the time. And that's enough to, first of all, break the trust you have with the universe, but also to not make your manifestation happen. Because how can it happen if you're always in an unclear conscious, if your conscious is never stable? Of course, it's normal to sometimes feel a little bit angry or sad or confused about how something's going to happen, but the hope needs to be stable. The hope inside of you and the hope within the universe needs to be stable. Because when you go from also obsessing, that is always the thing that was keeping me away from my manifestation. Every single time I took a step back and I said, I trust you, universe, do whatever you have to do to make this manifestation come to life, it always happened. And sometimes I was stressed because I feel like my manifestation always happened right before something needs to happen, right before the event or whatever it is. But it always happened. And it was always when I was like, you know what, me obsessing is not going to do anything. The hardest part that I see in everyone when it comes to manifesting something is changing your mindset, having a new way of thinking, changing your perspective over things, and changing how you're always trying to freak out over the how and the when, and just believing. That is the hardest thing that it was for me, to just believe and trust the timing, because you are so focused on a specific timeline of how things should happen. If it doesn't happen that way, then how would it happen? And you're so fixed on one specific outcome that could happen or one specific timeline that you're not even thinking about maybe a reason why it's not happening then, because something better is happening. Or maybe letting go will let the universe have full control over the canvas and make you have the most beautiful painting, the most beautiful outcome that you could have never predicted, because the universe is very unpredictable and you need to learn to have things happen in a way you didn't expect, because it will surprise you of how certain things fall into place and you could have never predicted it. I mean, the amount of time that things just fell so perfectly into place, and I was out there freaking out, or I was out there trusting, but being I don't know about that plan. But the universe always has a plan, and it's one plan that you cannot predict, but when it happened, you're like, it happened so perfectly. It happened so perfectly. So you really just gotta learn to trust the plan. Trust the plan. And I know it's hard to trust the unknown, but it's so much better to let yourself be surprised for once. Let yourself not always be in the pilot seat and learn to be the co-pilot, because you're the co-creator of your life. How I always get my manifestation is by letting myself envision how I will feel like and how I will look like, and constantly go back into my imagination and think about how something is going to be at the end. The only thing you need to have control over is the ending, is the thing at the end. But how it's going to happen and the exact outcome of how is the process going to look like until that thing happen is going to be out of your control. But as long as you keep the vision of that thing that you really want, of that manifestation, is going to happen. Every single time I envision something, I didn't know the how, but I envisioned myself in a either peaceful place or having an event go however exactly I wanted it to go, like a concert or anything I wanted. I just like think about the end, and all the process and the plan is none of my business. I'm just here existing and trusting. But then at the end, it was always either exactly what I was envisioning or better. And that all came from me trusting and letting go. Every single time I let go, it's when something happened. I mean, at this point, it's like that is how you get your manifestation, is by letting go, envisioning the end goal, and just trusting the timing, trusting the universe, and have some faith, and always trusting that things will happen so much better than you imagine. Even if it is exactly the end goal, it's going to be so much more magical because it won't be in your head anymore. And that's the thing that's keep me going, is knowing that this already happened. It's not just in my head. Because when you think about it, everything you experience always ends up just in your head. It always ends up just memories. So when you envision it, you can think of it like a memory, because the brain doesn't know if it happened or if it didn't happen. So when you think about all those manifestations, think about it like a memory. And then that's how it happened into your reality. Because to become a memory, you have to experience it. And that's how the fake imagination of your manifestation becomes a real memory, and that your brain can look back on. But your brain, it didn't see any difference from the fake memory to the real one. It's just now you truly experience it. And that's truly the beauty of trusting the universe. That's literally the thing you need to do to be able to have your manifestation. Think of it like a memory, and to be able to do that is by trusting and envisioning the thing happening, the thing, trusting that it's already done. And it's by letting go of the how and the when, which are the hardest thing that people always have such a hard time letting go of, and just continuing to do what you have to do. If it's envisioning, if it's a little bit of work, just do that. Prepare like it already happened. If it's something you want to happen, prepare for it happening. Like, do your research or get your things ready. But just know that in your head, it's already done. It's already done. And stop stressing so much. Because also, when you let go of the how and the when, is when you let the playground to the universe. You're like, you know what? Take over. Do whatever you have to do. Get very creative. I don't care. It's literally about not caring about how it's going to happen and just believing. And learn to follow the right rabbit. Learn to be comfortable with the unknown. Is going to be the hardest thing you have to do. At least it was for me, because I was like, how am I supposed to let go of the how? But every time I did is when it happened. Because what are you going to do? Trying to predict always how things going to happen? You're going to drive yourself crazy. So at least instead of worrying and panicking, which is also normal, like I feel like every time I was sad or angry, it was the breakthrough, because I kept hoping, I kept believing. It was actually more than hope, it was certainty. I kept believing that it's going to happen. Even when I was like having breakdowns, I was like, how is this going to happen? It always happened. It always happened, because deep down, I still had trust. I still had trust. Even when you feel all those emotions, because we're humans, we're not robots. Even when you feel all those emotions, the trust is the core thing that is going to make your manifestation happen. And stop always trying to control the timeline, and learn to trust the unknown. Learn to follow the right rabbit into the unknown and be comfortable with the unknown. And learn to just trust. People say that all the time for a reason. Learn to rewire your brain into believing that you can let go. Learn to rewire your brain into believing that you are the co-creator of your reality. And just learn to believe that everything you want to manifest is going to happen. That you are someone who is extremely lucky. You are someone who expects good things and then have good things happen to them all the time. because expecting good thing is the thing that always work to get what you want, because you're just like, because honestly manifestation is just about envisioning and expecting good things. It's literally just about thinking what I want and then expecting that thing to happen. That's literally it. And when you get into that mindset, that's when magic happens. So yeah, so that's how you detach from the unknown and let the magic happen. Let the universe surprise you and just let yourself feel free in your manifestation afterwards. And also, I'm back on this channel and I'm going to post way more often. And yeah, so just always trust the universe has your back. Trust the plan. Stop asking so many questions. How annoying is it? Imagine you're like a pilot and you're going to your destination, and then the people in the plane are always asking you, oh, when are we arriving? Oh, what are you doing now? Why are you turning that way? No. It's so annoying. So let the pilot do its thing and just be in the plane and trust that you're getting to your destination. So yeah, that was today's video. Hope you guys liked it, and like and subscribe for more. Bye guys.